Leg Daryl to throw first. Game on.
George Noble gets us underway. Interesting game. And I was looking at the head-to-head stats for these guys before the game. And I'm amazed these guys have only played each other twice. They've been on the same circuits for many years. But it's 1-1.
100.
After this game, someone's going to be in the lead.
Well, Daryl Gurney's progress into becoming the dart player that he is today, one that looks like a top 16 player, one that has won his first title, and I personally expect that he will get more. 100. It's only sort of come about really in the last year, 18 months or so, and even within that he had a few weeks out because he broke bones in his hand.
99.
So he wasn't regularly going into the latter stages of tournaments for a lot of his time in the PDC. He's taken his time to learn his craft. And John Henderson is a player who we have seen him in finals and semi-finals, and he will go on runs on certain days, but he is a guy who blows hot and cold. So I think it's just a case that these two, when they've both been playing well, it's not really coincided with each other that much. And so the chances of them meeting, unless they get drawn in the first round or the second round, and they haven't met since the UK Open last year, have they? No, 2015 even, I think it is.
No, it still feels like 2016. I don't know where these years are going.
140.
It's been a long while since these two have gone toe-to-toe. Daryl Gurney, a very different player from the last time they met when he lost at the UK Open. 9-8.
100.
John Henderson, always dangerous.
He'll fancy this, you know, because he does like the top of the board.
Oh my word, Hendo! He's done a Bernd Roy. Bernd Roy hit two trebles with his first two darts to bust his score yesterday. And John Henderson has fired two in the treble 20 to bust 120 in leg one. And it has cost him the leg. And he can't hit a treble 20 with his next dart or his next one. But he can with his last.
Well, what he's got to do, Dan, is he's got to put that out of his mind straight away. Because things that go wrong in the first leg of a match can completely take over your mentality. He's got to be able to forget about that and just get on with the job.
Wow. John Henderson. That is... Well, the maxim I live by is... Good darts are better than bad darts, but funny darts are better than all of them put together. And that was certainly the latter category.
140.
Not sure John would agree with you.
Not sure he would. Not sure he would.
But getting back to Daryl Gurney, what I like about his progression is that he's had some really big moments in his career when he played at Lakeside and made quarterfinals there. Then he had some flashes of brilliance at Ali Pali. And then he had good runs. He had a good run in the Players' Championship. But over the course of the last 18 months, he's culminated into this player. And he's used all of the experience to become who he is. And he's better than he's ever been.
Yeah, he's doing it on a more regular basis, isn't he?
And he's ready for it now. I think that is it. The crux of it is he's ready to be the player now.
Well, he's 31 years old, Daryl Gurney. Don't bust it, Hendo. Yeah, just have a think. There we go.
135.
96 for Gurney to double his lead. 76 needed. Thought he might have toyed with the idea of going double-double. In the end, it was loads of open space around that treble 20.
Yeah. Double 12 for Big John. He does like double 10, John, so double 6 might not be a problem. And isn't a problem. That vanishes the first leg. And that's what he needed, John. He just needed to finish off that leg and just get on with it now. How good do you think Daryl Gurney can be?
I genuinely don't know. Daryl Gurney talks about his own game and he says that he believes that his scoring is as good as anybody in the game when he's playing well. He believes that he can live with even the likes of Dave Chesnell and Michael Van Gerwen and Adrian Lewis in terms of the 180s, because he does hit a lot of these. A lot of them. And there's number one for this one.
Well, the camera angle for these guys is perfect because you can see the rocking motion of John.
100.
But look at the power in the arm of Gurney. There's not a great deal of backlift there. Barely any. It's all forward motion.
65.
And it looks like he puts a lot of strain on his arm. I don't know how that's going to last up over the years, whether it is going to cause problems. There's not a lot
60.
because he doesn't have much backlift. There's no sort of lateral movement there. As long as everything's going forward in a straight line, and it appears to, he's very reliable. And very reliably taking out the 116 to hold his throw there and go 2-1 up.
It was very similar in Devon Peterson with the lack of backlift and lots of forward motion.
60.
Yeah, both big guys who really do propel the dart forward. And, I mean, look, he's in there again. He is a very, very dangerous player, Daryl Gurney. He says the only thing that separates him from the very elite is the ability to take out those checkouts. 80 plus, 80 to 120 on a more regular basis. He believes if he can sort that bit of his game out, then he can push on into the top 16, into the top 10, can get that Premier League spot, which he has been mentioned with reference to, and can go and make a first major final. He's been close.
100.
Well, what's more, it's never been an equipment issue because he's always been using this kit. It's always had the long stem, the long barrel, the long point, and that same kind of flight. Never been an equipment issue for Daryl. He always has been comfortable with what he uses. Now, 9 darts thrown, 36 left. I'd say he's in a pretty good place. So these darts, though.
135.
And that keeps John Henderson interested, but a potential 10 dart leg for Daryl Gurney. There it is, breaks the throw. And this is the sort of stuff that Daryl Gurney is doing on a much more regular basis now, and it is the sort of thing that has helped propel him to his first title. When he won his first title earlier this year on the Pro Tour, he beat Kim Heidrichs in the final. He averaged 107. I commentated on that game. I didn't realise how good it was until I saw the stats at the end. We don't have the stats available during those Pro Tour games. But he averaged 107 there. He'd thrown ton-plus averages in a number of the games over the day. Peppered his matches with 180s. I know we're only in leg 5 here, but 109 from Daryl Gurney. And it's not that much of a surprise. There he is, down to 107. But the first 9 is what you expect from a top-level player. That 120 mark, that's when they're playing somewhere where they expect to be. We can see that go up to like 130 sometimes when players are really on fire. But Daryl Gurney says it's the finishing that will set me apart, and he's 3 out of 3 so far today. So he can't really complain about that, and he can't really complain about the scoreline. He's 3-1 up.
Well, if he does complain, he needs a slap across the chops.
He does. Well, it's a big target.
There's nothing wrong with this.
100.
You said it, not me.
It's perhaps not as big as it might be to justify the name Super Chin. Don't bust it. There we go.
140.
You're going to get that written on a placard. I'll hold it up in that particular situation, just like a 180 card, the don't bust it card.
The occasional bust big score is all well and good. I enjoy it. It's funny.
Back up that 10 dart leg. What's he going to get? 14? He'll take a 15.
Well, the first 3 darts missed at double. First any dart missed at double by Daryl Gurney. Wouldn't have mattered if he missed the first 2 and pinned it 3rd dart, because he wouldn't have allowed John Henderson a chance. And his chance has just slipped through his fingers anyway.
41. Daryl, you require 20.
2 10s for Gurney. 2 5s now.
Short to the 5th leg.
That sorts that out. That leg could have been a lot better, but he won't mind. As long as you're winning legs. He's got a 3-leg advantage now. Firmly in control.
Yeah. Winner of this one faces either James Richardson, who finished excellently in his first round game, 75% on his doubles, or Peter Snakebite Wright, winner of 2 of the first 3 European Tour events of this year.
I wonder who the crowd are going to favour in that game.
Well,
I think there might be a lot of James Richardson wigs in the crowd.
You reckon? Yeah, possibly. And there's always a chance that could happen. But I think it is a slim chance. We'll see. James Richardson has tried little things before to try, little gimmicks.
The Maltese rock.
The Maltese rock that he found in a skip in Malta, that he just waved around and nobody knew what it was. They thought it was a tea bag at first. I mean, it didn't really bring the crowd on side. It just sort of baffled most people as Hendo. Looks a bit tricky to fire another one into the treble 20 there with the dart sort of latticed up like that.
Look,
that looks good though.
Don't they look beautiful?
Oh. An illustration there of why Daryl Gurney hits so many 180s. Those massive long javelins standing up nicely in the bed, all perfectly straight and lined up next to each other. And how often do you see it? And it has got him to a finish that he's not going to take out, granted. But Henderson, the 119, is nobody's favourite outshot.
60.
But if you can throw them the way that Daryl does, all you got to do is just glide them into each other. This 119's got to go, I feel. Can go for tops. Oh, what a
shot to the six leg, John Henderson.
Yeah, I love that, my big son. What a lovely shot from Hendo.
Fantastic stuff from big John Henderson. Oh, but it's good from Gurney.
140.
Just suddenly dying. Don't know if maybe what might have happened there is that big long point caught the flight and just dipped suddenly and dragged it down below the treble bed. It's a double-edged sword when you're throwing darts and you're looking to use the previous dart. Sometimes they can guide it in, sometimes they can guide it away, and sometimes you get unwarranted 180s, sometimes you get unwarranted 123s and 140s and 125s. However, you get to celebrate the 180s as if every single one was meant, and any which was unlucky, well, just blame the darts.
Indeed.
Say how's your luck.
Well, we mentioned earlier in the month that Daryl Gurney was the highest ranked player not to have won a title, and then he won one, and Joe Cullen had that title for less than a day.
Yes, matter of hours.
The next person, or next highest ranked person in line to win a title is Kyle Anderson, I believe.
24.
John hasn't got one yet.
No, Big John hasn't got one. Oh, look at this, double eight. Oh, just missing outside for a 12-dart leg, but Daryl Gurney, he's been imperious in some legs, it has to be said. I mean, if you throw a 12-dart on your own throw, there's only one way you can be broken, and that's with perfection. And that doesn't happen on the European Tour, as we all know. Curse of Ross Smith, Gibraltar 2013. Double four. But even now, it's not the end of the world, because Henderson is on a bogey number. And now the pressure is applied.
Just in case. Just in case. Still plenty of room to the left. There it is. It's a lovely thrown dart. Aggressive. And belief as well. Because if you were just a bit edgy and a bit off confidence, you don't hit that shot.
Yeah, and with such a big long dart, standing up a bit, it's covering some of the bed. But the bonus that Daryl Gurney has, because his darts do tend to go in straight. They're not off to one side, left or right. We've seen that from some of the overhead shots following into the treble 20. It means he can sort of slide in alongside them a bit easier than perhaps if it was covering at an angle. Some of the bed can be a little bit awkward to navigate, but nothing awkward about that from big John Henderson, his first maximum.
Before I forget, Dan, you've just given me an idea for a movie.
Really?
The Curse of Ross Smith.
The Curse of Ross Smith, yeah. Well, I mean, if they want to do another Indiana Jones one, The Curse of Ross Smith, Harrison Ford, 107 years old, some dart player from Kent or wherever he is. Yeah, I'd watch it.
Yeah, he's from Kent.
Yeah, there we go.
57, John, you require.
I'd certainly watch it. I'd certainly watch this. John Henderson, Daryl Gurney. Treble 19 for tops. Well, not really making life easy for himself here, big John Henderson.
40.
That's all right, though. Gurney not on a finish. So John's got to win this leg and the next three to stay alive.
100.
To give himself a chance of winning
60.
a title. 20 in tops. Might move around a bit. Good guy, that, you know. There it is.
Not
Not dead yet. Can't discount Big John in any situation. He's a fighter.
Well, I remember in his one Euro Tour final, it was in Munich, as I recall, he took on Michael van Gerwen, and he was getting a bit of a hiding. He'd been throwing great stuff all the way through the weekend, John Henderson. Throwing, 105, 106 averages, playing superbly. Got to the final, wasn't happening for him. Found himself trailing. I believe it might well have been 5-1 or 5-2, and he came right back at MVG and took it to a last leg decider. Okay, MVG got over the line.
140.
But John Henderson does have this ability to hit a purple patch. And what I would say for Hendo, the benefit about playing here in the Glaspalast, it's probably one of the coolest
41.
venues I've had on the European Tour. Usually Hendo goes a shade of puce by about leg 9, and his core temperature reaches that of a nuclear reactor.
58.
But he looks to be quite comfortable up there.
Do you know what it is? It's quite cool here backstage. But I remember when we were here last September, and it was roasting. You could see the steam rising. You could see the condensation from the rafters. But it's a lot cooler today, and I think that suits John.
Well, he's giving himself a bit of a chance here. Gurney needs another treble, really, but he gets one. Gets one to leave 105 for the match. Henderson would love a ton 40. He can't bust it now, so that's good. Needs to stay straight, the very least. And that's, well, look, he's left to Shanghai. He's got a checkered history with Shanghai in this match, if we're honest. But will he get a go at this? Because Gurney, 57 scored, 48 remain, 16 for double thereof. Double 16 it is.
89.
One match dart missed.
Well, John's got a chance at redemption at this 120 shot. Just above the 60 with the first one. Or go high. There it is, perfect. Move to the left. Simple tops. Perfect from John. Keeps himself alive, and the battle's still in here.
Redemption for Hendo in the very first leg. He bust 120 with 2 darts. He has just taken out 120 when he really, really needed it to break the throw of Daryl Gurney. And now he is throwing 100. To level the match for the first time since the end of leg 2.
You see what he said to himself there just before he threw? Why didn't you do that the first time?
60.
Oh, Hendo. You don't love Hendo. You don't love darts.
Agreed.
60.
Just the 60, but Gurney only started off with a 60. He's still a ton behind, but that's changing.
97.
This could get a bit tasty in the last leg if John can hold here.
Well, it certainly will, because it would be 3 straight legs for Hendo if he can hold here, but the trebles have just dried up a little bit. Back-to-back 60s for Hendo, and against Daryl Gurney, a man who has the capability to produce 180s from absolutely nowhere, that is not enough. Oh,
84.
slack dart. Slack dart from Gurney. We saw Gurney at the World Championship in that incredible game with Mark Webster, and he was really struggling with the nerves, you could see. And he says that that's something
70.
that he is consciously fought to control. But now, the more and more he plays, the more at home he looks on these big stages. There's none of the sort of deep breathing. You can see he gets frustrated sometimes and he gets disappointed with his own visits. But he's only concentrating on how he's throwing the darts, where they're landing, what score he's got. You don't see him very often taking moments just trying to control his breathing, slow his heart rate down, any of that. It's more focus on the actual game. And that has got to be a good thing. That is, I'm sure that is one of the reasons why he's now producing better results on the big stage.
Now you recall 135.
And of course, the more you play on the big stage, the more you get used to it.
Well, that's what it is. It's just experience, isn't it?
Yep.
You can't buy it, you can only learn it. But can he take out the 135? Well, that is just below the treble bed that he needed
99.
to hit. Gets the treble 18 to leave the double. And he hit that earlier on for a 10 dart leg. But he might not get a go at it. Oh, John Henderson needed another one of those.
96.
Well, it's a test of nerve now. Daryl Gurney, double 18. And you will be through. You are through. Great game of darts from both guys. Super Chin wins.